Okay, we're going to call our CIC Board of Directors meeting to order. First item on the agenda, let's take a roll call. Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir. Mr. James?
I'm here.
Ms. Schwegman?
Present.
Mr. Weedman?
Present.
And Mr. Porter?
Present.
And absence is Mr. Kellums.
We do have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from June 21st, 2022 special CIC meeting. Everybody had a chance to take a look at it. Anybody have any corrections? If not, we'll take a motion to approve.
I move we approve the June 21st, 2022 special CIC meeting minutes.
A second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Miller.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Mr. Porter?
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds from the Sycamore Township, Hamilton County CIC into Sycamore Township, to Sycamore Township. What are we doing here?
Okay. So earlier this year, this board, as the Board of Trustees, transferred a property into the CIC for sale. That sale has occurred now. That's closed. The CIC is the entity that received the funds, and now we need to transfer that money back to
Gotcha.
to the Township General Fund.
Okay. So do you have the resolution?
I do. So if you're ready, I have a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds from the Sycamore Township, Hamilton County CIC, Inc. to Sycamore Township.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
A second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
I do have a question for Mr. Miller, I think, here. So we're transferring $117,465.75. The property was sold for $125, wasn't it?
120.
120, okay. Is this net of closing costs then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? No other questions? We have a motion is second. Mr. Miller.
Sir, Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman.
Aye.
Mr. Weedman.
Aye.
Mr. Porter.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Economic Development Grant Program update.
Yes, sir. Okay, you should have all received this this update Friday in your packet. We have slightly more expenditures this year than this time last year. The majority of that is contributed to one big grant payout, and we've had some just general administrative fees, consulting fees, auditing, and that's it. So for this year, we are at $82,585.87, compared to last year at $78,608.66.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? Okay. If there are not any more questions, the date of the next meeting is this Tuesday, December 6th at 6:45 p.m. And if there's no other business, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
A second.
Motion is second. Mr. Miller?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Mr. Porter?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Okay. We're going to call our September 6th meeting to order. First item on the agenda is invocation, read by Mr. Miller. If everybody please rise.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together in safety today. We ask for your presence and wisdom as we discuss the challenges we face together as a board of trustees and as a community. Guide our thoughts and words so that we may offer the best leadership possible to our township. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Everybody please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Porter would note that all three trustees are present. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from August 16th. We have a motion.
I move we approve the August 16th, 2022 trustee meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
And I move we approve the August 19th, 2022 special meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is a proclamation designating September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in Sycamore Township. We do have a proclamation. Tracy, you want to read it?
Sure. Again, this is a proclamation designating September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. And it reads as follows. Whereas ovarian cancer claims more women's lives than any other gynecological cancer, whereas the American Cancer Society estimates in 2022 over 19,880 women will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer and approximately 12,810 will perish from the disease. And whereas ovarian cancer is difficult to detect and women are often not diagnosed until the disease has reached an advanced stage, and whereas early diagnosis of ovarian cancer can increase the survival rate to as high as 94%, and whereas certain factors can reduce the risk of ovarian cancer and play an important role in its prevention, and whereas awareness and early detection of ovarian cancer is the best means of protecting women's lives from this disease, and whereas the board further wishes to recognize and honor the thousands of women who battle valiantly against the disease and to further encourage them in their daily struggles. Now, therefore, in commendation of all of the women and their families fighting the disease, the board hereby proclaims September 2022 as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in Sycamore Township, and the board calls upon all citizens, agencies, organizations, healthcare providers, and research institutions to raise ovarian cancer awareness and continue helping Americans live longer, healthier lives. Passed unanimously this 6th day of September, 2022.
Make a motion. We approve.
And I will second that.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. I just want to say, as a husband of one who has battled ovarian cancer 4 times, and I sit on the board of the Ovarian Cancer Alliance of Greater Cincinnati, we're thrilled that Sycamore Township continues to recognize every September Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Our group has raised over $1 million for research in the last 5 years, and we've been donating to some of the top researchers in the world. And we're hoping to find, at some point in time, they find a cure for this. It's a horrible disease. And we are having a 5K walk-run at Summit Park on September 17th. If anybody's interested in participating, it's at 9 a.m. and it's a great event. We'd probably bring about 2,000 people out to that event. So I want to thank everybody at Sycamore Township for their support of Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in September in Sycamore Township. So. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have any?
Yes, sir. We have one member of the public, Ms. Mary Ann Lucas. Yeah. Come on up here, ma'am. You can whatever you prefer. You can sit at the chair or behind. You can stand behind the podium, whatever you're comfortable with.
I don't really have prepared comments, but I'm here because several houses in my neighborhood are on the nuisance property. resolutions.
Could you give us your name and address for the record?
Mary Ann Lucas, 4087 Belfast. And there are 3 of them in my neighborhood. And I don't know exactly what nuisance property entails, but I appreciate that Sycamore Township is working to keep houses maintained properly and keeping up the values of the entire neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, ma'am.
Scott, was that it?
That's all we have, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Sheriff Patrol Report. Sergeant Sovereign?
The Sheriff's Office has no major incidents or anything to report this meeting.
We thank one of your officers for assisting in a dead deer on Marlette.
I certainly will.
Got it to the curb, and our crew picked it up, so that's great.
Absolutely.
EMS and Fire, did Chief leave anything for us?
No, sir, you did not.
Okay. Roads and Maintenance and Recreation, did Tracy leave anything for us?
Apparently, beaches are boring. So he's
Okay.
He's so bored. He's emailing me on a holiday.
Beautiful.
So, yep.
Planning and Zoning,
All right. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to slow us down a little bit. We do have a number of resolutions, and we need to discuss property maintenance costs. So let me switch over here. First property we have is at 4093 Belfast Avenue. This is for tall grass and weeds, garbage and rubbish. Property owner has been unresponsive. We have some overgrown weeds. The grass is getting taller. You can see in the backyard it's quite high. Looks like maybe some damaged workout equipment that's been left outside. So we're looking for resolution here. So because of this, I have a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 4093 Belfast Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45236.
okay, do we have a motion?
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion is second, any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Next property is at 8285 Fields Erdel Road. This is for tall grass and weeds. This is owner occupied, but the owner has been non-responsive. So I'll go ahead and read.
8285,
It's 8025, is that what I said?
8285.
8285
Yeah, where
Fields
is
Erdel
that?
Road.
that's not the corner of Snyder and Fields Erdel, is it?
I have to go to the pictures. We've got so many.
Because I know that's another problem. I know we cut that once before.
I think we have before. Here, I'll jump to it. Yeah. Yep, it's on a corner. So
Sure enough.
high
exactly where
weeds,
it is.
overgrown.
Okay,
Okay.
did we get a motion?
No, I haven't read yet.
Okay, so go ahead.
So with that, I have a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 8285 Fields Erdel Road, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45249.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion is second, any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Okay, next property, 9055 Eldora Drive for tall weeds and overgrown bushes. This is owner occupied. Owner's been unresponsive to us. I'll go ahead and read this, and then I'll go to the pictures. Resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 9055 Eldora Drive, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45236.
And I'll move we approve the resolution as presented.
A second?
Motion is second, any further discussion?
I think he wanted to show us some part of it.
Yeah,
It's trying.
this was a massive file, and these pictures are just they're too big. We've got to fix that moving forward. So, tall grass, overgrown bushes. Let's see. There we go. Try and back this out a little further. High weeds and grass in the right, up to the curb.
Is this owner occupied?
I believe so. Yes, sir. Okay, so we're just looking for a motion, or I'm sorry, a roll call.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
All right, this is a repeat property. This is 4020 Limerick Avenue. The violation is tall grass and weeds. So it's actually a vacant property, and the property owner of record is unresponsive. So.
Local,
Please.
local owner?
As stated on the auditor's website, but we don't know what the current
Okay.
status of ownership is. So I have a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 4020 Limerick Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45236.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second. Let's take a peek. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Earlier this year, this particular property had grass that was probably pushing close to 4 feet tall.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yep. All right, next property is 7256 Silvercrest Drive. This is for tall grass and weeds. Unknown status of the occupant, but owner of record is unresponsive. So I have a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 7256 Silvercrest Drive, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45236.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
I don't know if I need 12 pictures for every one of these. Okay, another repeat this season is 7600 Montgomery Road. This is at the corner of Montgomery Road and Ken Arbor. This is a vacant property. The property owner of record has been unresponsive. So, with that, I have a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 7600 Montgomery Road, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45236.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Okay. So this is really more of a bit of foreshadowing. I do have two purchase orders to be reviewed and approved by the board later on in the meeting. The two items are there's two properties I have to discuss with you. One actually exceeds our individual limit of $5,000. Let me get back to it. Here we go. So this is a property that's already been declared a nuisance by the board. Our process, we have a short list of contractors. Anybody can get on that list. We put out notice to them, and we accept informal proposals. It's essentially a blind bidding process, but we accept their numbers and we take the lowest. In this case, we only received one bidder for this, and it was for Sparks Landscaping in the amount of $5,250. This is a repeat property. This is not the first time that we have declared this property a nuisance. It's not the first time we've cleaned it. I actually think we're probably on, I want to say it's either the third or fourth time. Every time this is a high ticket item. The actual value of the property as a whole, I think has a total value of about $50,000, including land and improvements. So the liens that we're putting against this property are not a small fraction of the actual total value of the property. So we are spending public dollars on cleanup, but I guess we need to understand that there's a low likelihood that we're actually going to recoup these dollars, but we're still providing I think a significant public benefit by cleaning up this one property. High Point is a very challenging neighborhood. There's a lot of people that truly care about their properties in this area, and this one property is kind of in the middle of a very nice region. It's the one bad apple, I guess, in this block or area.
What's the frequency with which we've had to tackle this? Is it twice a year, once a year, once every 3 years?
This is the second time since I've been here, so
Okay.
we're looking at we're averaging every year and a half.
I've been here 27 years, and I can tell you, we've been to this lot so dang many times. It's unbelievable.
Is there an occupied residence here, or is this just empty?
This is I'll say owner occupied. The family has lived at this residence. The actual property owner of record is deceased, and the title hasn't been changed in quite some time.
Do we have accumulated liens on this already?
Yes.
What's the approximate value?
Well, to what end? I mean, it would.
Well, we could foreclose potentially and
Right.
own it and put up a fence.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we own a lot of property up in
We do. Yeah.
just add it to the
You just-
inventory.
To level this property and actually have it as a viable property to sell would be a major expense. I don't know if at the end of the day, we may clear the potential, repeat offenses of it, but, I don't know, we'd probably have to evaluate the actual, cost of demolition and everything else and decide if those upfront costs make sense for us.
I'd be curious to know all that, know what our liens are worth, because this seems like this is a major eyesore for the neighborhood. I hate to have to go to that length for anything like that, but if it's been going on for so long, maybe we can remedy it by wiping it clean.
And
Any thoughts on this?
the other thing I would say, sorry.
It's gonna be difficult to do that if the homeowner is deceased and there's no title. I mean, we can obviously go down that road, but it's gonna be paperwork intensive to publish, to locate heirs and the signs, get somebody that you can actually attach a foreclosure judgment against. I mean, it's possible. It's just gonna be, a little bit labor intensive, but.
Yep.
Look, this is an ongoing problem. It's not going away. I think we need to do something a little more drastic than we've done in the past, because it's just not working.
Yep.
And I believe that house heats with wood, correct?
It does, which is why the wood pile keeps coming back. We've tried to work with this property owner numerous times to get them to stack their wood properly. Ideally we'd want it in the backyard. This cleanup is only for the two front yards. That's on the corner lot. If I were to show you an aerial photo of the rear yard, you'd be appalled. You can't even walk out.
I think this guy actually comes on our property and cuts the wood, cuts it.
Used to.
Does he really?
Yeah. The area, the area of Third Avenue, that's Paper Street. Yeah. Tracy was telling me stories about that. He'd just go out there and start chopping down trees.
So the other question, I guess, is, which we really don't know, is this house even habitable?
That's what I was gonna say, are these structures even safe?
So that's where you can get your fire chief involved.
Yeah.
If you get it declared under that statute, you know,
Because we did another one right down the street
Right, right.
10 years ago.
And if you get that declaration, that would be
Yep.
cheaper and easier to ward the property up.
I don't know if there's running water. I know there's windows missing that have been either, just tarped or,
This
had some
week or
plastic
something,
put in
yeah.
them.
What's the address of this one?
This
Corner of
is,
Fourth and Park.
was it 11962 Fourth Avenue?
I mean, I think it's definitely worth exploring options. I mean, we can't leave it like this. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
right,
I mean, we have to do something currently, but I think we
I
need to
guess the
identify a long-term
$64,000
square.
question is, do we do it now? Do we clean this up and then proceed? Or, I mean, I think that's probably,
I think for the benefit of our good residents in the, the neighbors that have to deal with this on a daily basis, I would request that we spend the money now. But if we're looking for something, a more long-term solution, I'll start working on that with our law director.
I mean, it's possible, condemnation's in order here. And if that's the case, I mean, we're going to have to clean it up anyway. What's the difference? So you don't have a resolution for us tonight to?
I don't need so this has already been declared a nuisance.
Okay.
We have a purchase order for the amount.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the other property that I wanted to bring to your attention is actually just under the threshold. It's at $4,150, but that's still a lot of money to spend on one individual property. So this is 4105 Esther Marie Avenue. This is in Dillonville at the corner of Esther Marie and Donna. Okay, and there's a house behind that.
I was gonna say, is there a house back there?
There's a house back here. This, I don't know if it's changed owners or not. I apologize. I tried to research a lot of properties for tonight, but I do think there are new occupants in the house, even if the owners haven't changed. And this used to be a well-manicured property, and it's just it's gotten away from the landowner. So again, this has already been declared a nuisance, and I have a bid for this for $4,150. I'm prepared to move forward with this, but I actually, even though I have enough appropriated for this year, I don't have enough encumbered under a PO to pursue this. So that would be the second PO that we have tonight that essentially takes the remainder of our appropriated funds for this year and encumbers them into a new PO so we can finish out this year. And assuming the trustees are prepared to move forward on this, this will go towards that blanket PO. This is also Sparks Landscaping.
Does this have other liens on it?
I don't believe so.
Is it primarily vegetation?
I don't believe so I say there's not delinquent taxes. It looks like there may have been a slight discrepancy in pavement. They have a very small carryover from prior delinquent taxes, like a couple $100. So it's not.
But I think the
other property
just my
had
thought,
delinquent
they have
taxes.
delinquent taxes in High Point.
To the over $10,000
Yeah.
in delinquent taxes, yes.
And that's exclusive of the liens that we have on it, correct? Or is it
I wasn't able to get that breakout from the auditors.
Okay.
But that's
Yeah.
likely the case, based
Yeah.
on how our tax liens are assessed.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Is this primarily vegetation? Removal,
This is-
trimming, or
Yeah,
is there debris removal?
This is so we're going to tear out that hedgerow that's up against the right of way, the sidewalk. So this stuff over here that's kind of overgrowing and being a hazard for pedestrians, and the rest of the property will be cleaned up, managed, landscaped. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, we'll just pursue these once we have valid POs. Okay. And we do have a continuation of a zoning commission case. This is Landmark Recovery is coming back September 12th to zoning commission with a modified proposal for their operation. They're changing their model from inpatient outpatient to inpatient only, changing the number of beds, and requesting a new variance for their parking allocation. So that'll be heard on the 12th. Based on, assuming there's a decision that night, it'll come in front of the Board of Trustees in October.
Okay. Katie, on that case, they want to go up to 160 beds, I think, don't they? Is that the right number, 160?
So they started out 136 with inpatient, outpatient services. Based on comments that concerns that they received from zoning commission at the last meeting, they've decided to remove the outpatient services from that site and increase the number of inpatient beds to 160.
How are beds allocated in Ohio, do you know?
I
So.
don't know the answer to that.
Yep.
Let me take a look, yeah.
Yep. And their intent is to have outpatient services at some neighboring property.
Where is this exactly?
This is
Carriage
at
Court.
Carriage Court, thank you.
Carriage Court.
Carriage Court, roughly across the street north of
Oh, I know where it is.
Yeah.
It might be.
North of the hospital.
So, they're already short, I guess I think their request was they wanted to be treated as a convalescent home.
Nursing home, convalescent care, yes, sir.
And what do we have, 53 parking spaces there?
63?
63. Does that meet their requirement of 160 beds in a convalescent unit?
No, sir.
How short are they?
Depending on how we interpret their staffing model, they're saying on-site there would be a minimum of 56 staff members, at peak there would be 56 staff members. However, they have 10 additional on call. So depending on how you count those 10 on call, they could be required to provide anywhere between 83 and 93 parking spaces on the site. So
And they only currently have 63?
they have 63 spaces. Yeah.
Thus the reason why they're changing from inpatient, outpatient to just inpatient.
Right. But then they added additional beds, which increased the
Right.
parking requirement as well.
Okay, so that's it, that's P and Z, September, us in October, correct?
Zoning Commission, September 12th.
Okay, great. Anything else?
That's all I have from zoning.
Okay.
Okay.
Law Director report, Katie, anything?
Nothing from the law director.
Okay. Administrator report, anything from Tracy? We've got
Let's see.
these resolutions, anything?
Yep, we have,
Anything besides that?
We just have resolutions.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, so as a second half of the CIC action, we have a resolution authorizing the acceptance of funds from the Sycamore Township, Hamilton County CIC, Inc. For the sale of property.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Motion and second, any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Okay, we also have a resolution amending 2022 appropriations for the Marriott Fund and the Kenwood Crossing Fund, dispensing with a second reading and declaring an emergency.
I move we approve the resolution as presented.
I second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Any explanation?
Yes, sir. So this is a two-part explanation. So one part of this is that The TIF funds have brought in more revenue at this period of time than what was originally anticipated. Because of this, we have to make a larger payment to the schools. That would be Deer Park and Great Oaks. So I guess it's a good problem to have, that we're receiving more than what we expected. The other piece of this is there's a outstanding payment to RLG3 LLC. This was a purchase order that was originally created and approved in 2021, and during the transition from 2021 to 2022, the prior administration did not re-encumber a new, not re-encumber, I guess reappropriate the funds for this. So there's nothing to re-encumber because it wasn't appropriate.
Right, gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yep.
Is that a real cricket we're hearing, by the way, or is that someone's electronic?
Yeah, it's over here somewhere, I'm not sure.
Okay, did you read that? Sorry.
We've got a motion and a
Motion
second.
Yes,
second.
it did.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
And there will be associated purchase orders for that are able to be made because of this. Okay. Okay, we ready to go through these?
Yep.
All right. First, purchase order number 22-100-1. This is blanket vendor. This is for fire utilities. This is already appropriated funds. We just need to encumber more money to take care of those expenses. Okay. 22-102-2, another blanket vendor. This is in the amount of $20,458. This is EMS supplies. Again, actually, I'm going to say, now that we've done that resolution, all of these are now appropriated, and we just need to encumber more funds.
Okay.
So, 22-108-4, blanket vendor for $10,000 for fire building costs, facilities costs. Next one is 22-109-6, blanket vendor, $5,000, contract services for the fire department. 22-110-3, blanket vendor, $13,100 for tuition reimbursement in the fire department. 22-116-1, blanket vendor, for $67,000. This is materials for the roads department, maintenance department. 22-161-2, blanket vendor for $35,000 for parts, supplies, and materials. 22-165-10 for world fuel services for $10,000. This is roads fuel costs. 22-188-1, blanket vendor for $17,804. This is the property maintenance appropriations. This is essentially the remainder of those unencumbered funds. 22-273, Indian Hill Exempted Village for $3,070,330.82. This is the second half school payment. 22-274, Deer Park Community City Schools for $382,033.43, second half school payment. These are the TIF payments. 22-275, Sycamore Board of Education, $92,449.77. 22-276, Princeton City Schools, in the amount of $122,137.28. 22-277 Great Oaks Career Campuses in the amount of $171,179.51. Let's see, that's our final school payment. And then we have 22-278 Sparks Landscaping LLC in the amount of $5,250 for property maintenance cleanup at 11962 4th Avenue.
I move we approve the purchase orders Mr. Miller just presented to us.
A second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Is that all you got?
That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, fiscal officer report. Mr. Porter.
Yes, we had cash receipts of $11,547,736.69, disbursements of $4,727,186.84. Obviously, the large receipts and disbursements are the taxes came in, and then they're going out to the schools.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
A second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is trustee comments. Tracy, have any?
Sure. So we just, everybody just celebrated, or I should say at least recognized Labor Day yesterday. And I think it's worth taking a moment to thank all of those folks that not only work hard on behalf of the township, but those that are out there keeping our economy going and working hard every day. And thank you for your efforts. I hope you enjoyed a restful and relaxing Labor Day, and onward to fall.
Okay. Anything?
Yeah, a few things here. First of all, I'm glad to see the township recognizing Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month again. I know Tom champions that every year, and it's a good cause here. So proud that the township is able to recognize and support that. Wanted to report that I'm participating in the Metro Bus System Bus Rapid Transit Stakeholder Advisory Committee, which had its first meeting on August 29th. The Metro system is looking at putting in some express bus rapid transit routes in, one of which would come here to Sycamore Township and basically circle the Kenwood Town Center area. It would provide rapid transit to a few other points in the city. So they're taking on ideas for that, but that'll be a good thing for our township as well, for people to have access to the mall from other places. The township newsletter is out. Many of you got it in the mail over the weekend here. I wanted to thank Beth Gunderson for getting this together. Excellent job as always. Interesting things in here, one of which you can see is pictures from the car show from the township with the winners on that. And on a related note, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Weedman on your excellent photo cropping skills.
Great.
Take a look at the photo here, compare it to the one on his Facebook page.
Great.
It's a little amusing. Go ahead.
Okay, is that it? I just want to thank the road crew team for getting that deer off of Marlette. It was a real disaster. It was a huge buck, actually, and they hauled it all the way. So I want to thank those guys for getting out there this morning. And I have nothing else. The Board of Zoning Appeals meeting appears to be canceled. Is that for lack of an agenda, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for the rest of our, you can check our website for our meetings and events on our calendar. And if there is no other business, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
A second?
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Adjourn.